U.S. Senator Ted Cruz and other statewide Republicans in the state of Texas have West Texas to thank for being reelected in the 2018 midterm elections. Hey, everybody. I'm Chad Hasty, host of the Chad Hasty Show, which airs weekday mornings, 8:30 to 11 a.m. Central Time on News Talk 95.1 FM and 790 a.m. KFYO. 223,000 votes. That is what separated Senator Ted Cruz from Beto O'Rourke, at least as of this recording. And it shows something. The election results showed something, not only for Senator Ted Cruz, but also for Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, Governor Greg Abbott, and others in the state of Texas, that West Texas is your firewall. West Texas is your friend right now. If you're a Republican politician in the state of Texas, West Texas is the place you can go to be heard. And West Texas is the place that'll save you from the Dallas area, Harris County, Travis County, Williamson County, and yes, now even Tarrant County, as Senator Ted Cruz appears to have lost Tarrant County in the 2018 midterm elections. But Texas Republicans should remember this. West Texas is your firewall, but West Texas should not be ignored. Too many West Texas voters feel ignored by Texas politicians because, well, we don't have a lot of people out here. Let's be honest. Ted Cruz has not spent a lot of time. He has in this election, but he has not previously spent a lot of time in West Texas. Neither has Greg Abbott. Neither has Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick. Neither have a lot of other statewide elected officials. Not as much as West Texans would have liked to have seen their elected officials. To be fair, during the 2018 election, we didn't hear a lot from statewide officials, did we? We didn't hear a lot from Governor Greg Abbott, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, Ken Paxton, or others who were running on the Republican ticket and running to be reelected. We simply didn't hear enough from them. And that, to me, is one of the fatal flaws that we see from way too many politicians across not only the state of Texas, but across the United States. There are way too many politicians that just don't want to be heard. There are too many politicians that do not want to be interviewed by the media, too many politicians that want to fly under the radar when it comes to re-election. And that's not the right way to go about things, and it's a bad move for Republicans in order to do that. Listen, Texas isn't purple. Texas isn't going to be a purple state in 2020, I believe. Texas is a red state, but it's a red state that could be purple if the right people run in 2020. It could be a purple state if Republicans ignore West Texans. West Texans may not have a lot of numbers. We may not have the population centers that Harris County and Dallas County has, but we do have a lot of conservatives. We do have a lot of Republicans who get out and vote. And we also have a lot of people who want to hear from their elected officials. Way too many Republicans wanted to fly under the radar in this re-election, and that goes for statewide Republicans and, yes, even some local Republicans as well. They try to stay under the radar, and sometimes that works, but I think we're getting to a point in the state of Texas where it's not going to work much longer. We need to hear from our elected officials. I say this as a voter, but I also say it as a radio talk show host. These guys need to be heard from. They need to be on my radio show and other radio shows across the state of Texas, telling the story of Texas, telling the story of why what they're doing is in the best interest of the state of Texas. If they really believe what they're selling and they really believe what we've seen in the state of Texas over the last, a couple of decades now, then why not come out and talk about it? Why not sell that message? Something that Republicans have got to understand is right now you have a lot of socialists, Democratic socialists, progressives, whatever, selling hopes and dreams. Why aren't Texas Republicans getting out in front of the media and selling the results of conservatism? Why aren't Texas Republicans selling the results of different legislation that they pass in the House and Senate? Why doesn't that happen in this state? Why did it not happen in election 2018? Listen, a win's a win. Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, you won. Governor Greg Abbott, you won. But I bet you didn't win by as much as you wanted to. And that really goes for Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, who has appeared on my show numerous times, but didn't come on once during the election cycle. He wanted to fly under the radar, and I don't think that's the greatest move, especially when so many people are running against you and saying that you hate public education. You want to tell people that you don't, you have to get out in front of the media. You can't just fly under the radar. There are way too many politicians that we have seen across the United States who try to get in under the radar. They don't want to upset anybody, and a lot of it's arrogance. that they don't feel the need to debate. They don't feel the need to do radio or TV interviews. They don't feel the need to be interviewed by Evan Smith of the Texas Tribune. Listen, I know some Republicans look at the Texas Tribune and go, well, you know, it's a left-leaning organization. Listen, I like the Texas Tribune. I like Evan Smith. I think Evan Smith is one of our great interviewers in the state of Texas. Republicans and Democrats should be interviewed by Evan Smith. He asks some tough questions, but they're good questions. So why didn't any Texas Republican turn up at the Texas Tribune Fest? Didn't happen, and it was a mistake, in my opinion. Republicans, statewide Republicans, listen to me. Yes, West Texas is your firewall, but how much longer will it be if you continue to ignore West Texas? Ignore West Texas at your peril. I'm warning you. There are voters out here, voters who are thirsty to hear from you, voters who want to hear from you. And I think there are a lot more voters in Tarrant County and Collin County and other counties across the entire state that want to hear from you. And this message to Republican voters in the state: this isn't a 15-point deep conservative state anymore. You can't act like that. Every vote is a battle. Every election is going to be a battle from here on out. There are a lot of people who think that progressive and liberals are the way to go. And if you think that's wrong, then you got to get out and vote, like we did in West Texas. Listen, ignore West Texas at your peril. If you want to continue to ignore those in West Texas, eventually those in West Texas may start ignoring you, like they have in Tarrant County, Harris County, Travis County, Dallas County, Williamson County, and many others. Don't ignore West Texas anymore. Tune in to the Chad Hasty Show weekday mornings 8:30 to 11 on News Talk 95.1 FM and 790 AM KFYO.